Hello, my name is Sarah, and welcome back to another speed build. Today I'm at 21 Chick Street, which is in City Living, renovating the apartment 1312. So I always love to take the walls and turn them all white. I can't remember if I mentioned that in my last video. It kind of helps just take out all the style that initially was in the apartment to give me a fresh, clear start of what I want to do with the apartment. Sometimes I'll leave the white on the walls, and sometimes I'll actually go and add color and different styles to it. But I think realistically, a lot of rooms in houses that we live in are tend to be neutral colors and white. So as you can see, I'm in the kitchen, kind of fiddling with the cabinets, trying to make them so that they don't all look the same. I use it from both of them are from interior designer, and I use different tops and bottoms. I added a little half wall because I think small apartments like this tend to kind of cut off space from things. But you'll see here after I get my table that I actually extend that wall all the way down to where the floor changes. Right there. There you go. Um, I went for a modern look with this apartment. I thought I love the modern look. It's just so clean and sleek. And then I put this like tile in the background, and right there kind of inspired the rest of the build. I went for this soft pink in the whole apartment. The Sims has some interesting pink swatches. I think there's a lot of cute ones, and then I think there's a couple that just like don't quite fit the rest of the like those other swatches, so they're kind of hard to use. So when picking different items, I had to like be careful to ensure that it had the right soft pink that I was going for, because I wasn't really going for a vibrant pink color. I added these archways. I love it when things aren't necessarily fully open concept, but tend to have a little bit of separation. And I did that by using the arches, putting walls and then using arches, and I used the pillars from Get Together, I believe. Or actually, no, not Get Together, City Living. Those are the best arches that there are, or like columns, I should say. Um, and I put in different tiling because I really like, I've had a lot of siblings who've lived in apartments, and I feel like the last thing that they update is always like that flooring. And I just kind of thought that it worked well with the tile and the look, but also like made it like a realistic apartment where like some things were upgraded, but if it was in working condition, they kind of left it. So you'll see like the stove, I kind of went with that like oldie vibe stove, thinking that like the landlord wouldn't have upgraded it if it works. Added some nice, really soft pink different items around the house. Most of these items are from Country Kitchen Kit, which I am so glad. One of my favorite packs, just because of the clutter items for the kitchen, or one of my favorite kits, I should say. Um, Next, I kind of wanted to use this little wall to add some different things on it. In the end, I actually don't end up using it. I keep it really nice, white, sleek, empty across the way. I just felt like there was plenty of other things to add to kind of create the look that I was going for. I also tried like using this debug item, end up getting rid of it so it doesn't actually stick around. Uh, I just didn't think that like that. I think there's a lot of good debug items. I think it's just kind of hard though for people who don't necessarily want to use the debug items to put in the cheat if they want to download it or whatever they're thinking about. But here you see me putting a nice soft pink coffee pot. Love that. I really wish coffee pots could be moved to specific spots on the counter, but you can't if you want them to work. The next thing I did here was add like this underlight underneath the counters. I think that like can really lighten up the space and make it look really neat, especially in the dark time. So make sure to turn on auto lights if you don't want your electric bill to be really high. Next, you'll see me taking this very small space next to the door and trying to make it like an entryway. So I initially put like the shoes over there, but I moved them under the bench that I put like over here, more around the corner. I do end up putting a mirror at the front though, because I think that really just makes sense with the space. I do add this coat rack, which I was having a hard time. For some reason, it was like glitching with the clothing. So I do move the coat rack into the bedroom and try to get the coats to get on there. I end up having to pull like a different one of those fashion designing like blocks, and then it worked. I'm not sure why it did that, but I got it to work. I love this bench. It's technically, I think, a coffee table, I believe. I'm not quite sure on that. But I think it has a really nice swatch that really matches with all the fashion design stuff, interior designer. Add a little pictures, some books to it. And then I do wrap around the corner here. There it is. And I add my long mirror. Kind of a good place to put it for in case you're ready to go out and about. I try to add like a little curtain to kind of just touch up on it, but it didn't really work. It I've mentioned it before, but the curtains, I would love if the curtains could be expandable, both up and down and like left and right, just like walls. It would be so cool to be able to do that. I think it would add a lot of different design features and accessibility for all the curtains to fit all the windows. Next, I use this little corner as a workspace. I love this desk. I clutter it up full of books and different knickknacks. You'll see me add one of these snow globes that has a dinosaur in it, and it's actually something very special to me and to some other people. But if you don't know, there was a little girl named Eliza, and she had cancer, and she just passed away this last Father's Day. She made such an impact on so many different people, and she was obsessed with dinosaurs. She loved all things dino. She was part of the dino club on TikTok. Um, but I just wanted to kind of put in something that reminded me of Eliza. She just made a big difference in my life. I had found her account and her parents' account during a tough time in my life, and she meant a ton and just made a big impact in my life. Her parents are working on raising money to finance different childhood cancer research projects. So if you've ever are interested in that, I really highly suggest go looking them up. I will link their account and in the bio. But that's, I just want to let you know. And here comes the dinosaur globe right there. I think that's going to be kind of like one of my signature things that I add in as many builds as I can. I just think it's a lovely reminder of a really special little girl who passed away from cancer at just shy of her third birthday. Um, Here you'll see me using an island living bookshelf. I love this open bookshelf design. I think it's very modern, and it kind of like, I can see the island living part to it. I think they could make another one of these like fully modern if they wanted to. But in the meantime, I think it looks great and it works well. I wish the swatch matched more perfectly with like the interior design swatches, like that wood tone, I guess. I'm not sure what you would call that. Kind of a blank slate tone, but I love this what do they call it? Pupulent. Basically, the succulent inside of that little puppy. I think it's just so cute. It just makes me smile. That little flower and pupulent. I think that's such a clever, like, name. Add a nice rug here and some plants in the corner. Just a nice little touch for the apartment, especially with that corner window. this is a one bedroom, one bath apartment. So with the pink, I would assume, or I guess I would think that it was for either a young adult who's really interested in design and just like pink things, or I could even see maybe having a couple, like a couple of roommates or something who maybe share the room. I'm not sure, but my vibe was kind of like a single young adult that was living on her own or living on his own and wanted to have friends over, but kept the apartment nice and chill and relaxing and just kind of soft. I was really struggling on what couches I wanted to use, and I started with the TV over there. That couch does not end up staying. The big couch doesn't end up staying. The little couch does, but I turn it into a soft pink. This living room was kind of like I knew what I wanted, but it wasn't coming together like I had hoped. But in the end, I was really, really proud and pleased with what it ended up looking like, especially with just like the uniqueness of having those archways kind of separating things. Kind of also threw in like this, like trying to make it fit better, like you have to work around the architect of the apartment, and I enjoyed like thinking about how to do that the best way with like end tables and couches and the practicality of it. uh I play around with some of these smaller couches. Like I said, I kept that couch. That's from the paranormal pack. The end table is from interior design pack. The little stool, I think, is base game, I believe. I might be wrong on that, so I'll have to take a look at that. That the like TV console that I have underneath it is from Cottage Living, and here I put paranormal plant, this like globe thing right there. That's from Paranormal as well. I'm obsessed with that build buy pack from Paranormal. I Everything, like the swatches are amazing in it, the uniqueness of what they have in it, like so many plants that are beautiful and so many swatches on couches are just phenomenal. And like for gameplay, I'm not necessarily like a huge fan of that, just like that pack. Mostly just because I'm not into maybe the mystic side. I really love like the family side of things and like the career side of things. So not as much as like I guess like the werewolf, the spooky stuff, anything like that. Like that's for me, that's just not what I play The Sims for. So I am cannot wait till they finally come out with Generations. Like it's so disappointing to me that they had that amazing pack for The Sims 3 and then still 7 years later, Sims 4 still does not have enough stuff for toddlers and kids and teenagers. With Generations, if they come out with it, when they come out with it, they have so much potential with it, such as like adding cars, because in Sims 3, the teenagers could learn how to drive. That is the perfect place for them to add cars. So my fingers are crossed that that's where they start adding in cars again, so that we can build garages with homes and just have things for the teens to do, like learning how to drive and getting their driver's license and watching the Sims actually go to work instead of just disappearing at the edge of the lot. It kind of adds a little bit more depth to the story, and I know that's what the Sims team is looking for. They just recently asked us to go on their Twitter and add things of like how they can make the Sims like have more depth to it. So they see the need. Oh, right here, I love it again. Interior design, I take that, or no, knitting pack. I take that little shelf, and this time I add in lights. Those mason jar lights are so adorable, and so I stick them inside the shelf. I thought that was like a really cute idea. I'm loving figuring out what else can go inside of this, like the knitting shelves that those are. I think they've got like, because of how they're designed and things, they've got so much potential with like different things that can kind of like sneak in there and go in, and yeah, so really love that. I end up getting rid of that teapot to the right and actually come back to that and add like another light tray that has a teapot on it. Like I said, the soft pinks just kind of gave me that vibe of just like soft and loves to drink tea in a cozy place, right? A place that bring friends to, a place that she wants to spend most of her time in, things like that, or he wants to spend time in. Here in the bathroom, I'm kind of fiddling with like trying to figure out how to add a shelving. This sink, I love the sink, but there's no place to put soap on it. And so I was like, I need to add a shelf. There's no storage for the sink. I need to add a shelf to get the toothbrushes on there, the Kleenex box that you would typically find in a bathroom, and the soap. So here I find this shelf. I place it there. I do add the soap on top, but I do like try to see if it would work on the sink. It does not. Definitely did not work well. Here it is. I attempted. I'm like, okay, it kind of runs into the wall of the sink. That's not gonna work. I add a towel and I add these blue towels to the side that match like beautifully with that tile because of the blue that's in the corners there. I move all of this stuff over because I realize, okay, if there's not that much storage, I need to add one of those like tall bathroom storage things. And so here it is. I add this nice white one. I thought that added some nice storage and just some like practicality with it. I add this nice blue rug that matches well with the towels. I do end up, before uploading this to the gallery, I do end up adding a picture above those blue towels and centering them. I realized that that wall was just kind of plain, and so I do go back and add some stuff, but it won't be in the video here. Next, I go into the one bedroom of the apartment, add one of my favorite beds. I was like, yes, with the pink swatch, I know that this bed is just beautiful with. So I add that in, and then I try a couple different dressers, but I end up settling and actually like going with the interior design module pack with these four square ones all the way across the bottom. And then I add some shelving like above it to give it a little bit more storage. Here I am, like I said, like fiddling, realize I want the four across look. I add these ones with hangings, realize I want to actually add a TV into the middle of it. So I put the hanging ones on the sides to hang up the clothing, and then I throw in the TV into the middle there. And I love that. I love that look. I think it's very modern. I think it's like watching TV from your bed is like one of the most comfiest things you can do. I love laying in my bed at night. I like getting into my bed at like 8 o'clock and just watching videos on YouTube and different shows from my bed. I don't know. It's just like my safe space, my comfortable space. I know it drives my husband crazy sometimes, but it's just such a nice, relaxing area. So I've done that ever since. I don't know, when did I start doing that? Getting in bed early. Basically, since I got married like 3 years ago, it I don't know, it's just a nice, comfortable place to be. And as a kid, I always had bunk beds or a loft bed, and I was always the top bunk. So it was never like a comfortable place to get into or get in and out of. So I never spent like time in my bed. As a kid, or even like in college, I had a loft bed as well. I never spent time just laying in bed and watching videos, really. It was just for like just when I went to sleep and things. And so, yeah, it was like a whole different thing now that being married and having a bed that doesn't isn't lofted up into the air and things like that. I really love these module things and how you can add shoes into the shelves and just like the perfume and hairbrush and things that maybe wouldn't fit into a bathroom. That maybe she would do or he would do in the bedroom using the mirror in the corner. So I just love cluttering these things up with what we have in the bedroom per se. Sometimes there's not as much clutter as I wish there was. So when it's the bedroom, it's a little easier because I know what type of things that work well, like storagey things. So I add some of these boxes from the interior design pack to kind of put that feeling of like, this is like a big storage. This is a small apartment. There's not like a garage, there's not an attic. So this is like where the storage is going to be for the apartment. Add a little basket, and I am working on trying to figure out a plant in the corner. And this hack right here, so this is the interior design plant, and then I take this giant jar from City Living, and it fits perfectly to cover up that bottom base part. I love the bottom base part of this plant from interior design, but sometimes to add just like a little bit of like design and flavor or something, I'll take that jar and put it over the top of it, and it looks awesome. I love the design, especially with the design of the whole apartment with that blue pink type thing. So if you've ever been interested in that City Living jar with the interior design like plant. Next I'm fiddling with like trying to figure out a good picture to go on top of the bed. And that's one thing I really look forward to the future of finding, like having the Sims 4 team come out with more pictures that, I don't know, just more beautiful pictures. I feel like we have a couple and I use them repetitively. So I would love to just like have a couple more new pictures that work well. And so I don't keep using the same pack, like same couple of pictures over and over again. That's where I mentioned I added another light into the living room. I go back to the front and take that big rug and just size it down to better match the front space. And then I just kind of add like 2 more flower vases, one there and then one over by the coffee pot into the kitchen. In my video, thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy these screenshots. If you like this video, hit the like button below. Subscribe if you'd like to see more, turn on notifications, and we